TV 79 is ready, so welcome everybody to the December 11th meeting of the Blight Review Committee. David, welcome. New member, David Martin. So we're glad to have him. Let's start with, and I'm calling the meeting to order. It's what, 5:28, so we're, well, let's say 5:28. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes? George made a couple of comments, and typical of being a lawyer, he insists that we spell his name correctly.
Minor details.
I thought so. It's R-E-I-L-L-Y, and I know that because I play golf with him all the time. I write down his initials. So we're changing that. There was another change. It was just there was an A in front of town assistants. They didn't need to be there, and I eliminated it. We were close. George wanted to check up on making sure that item number 3, property 18-004, I had said citation served by marshal. George thought that it hadn't been served that day, and it turns out it was served exactly that day. So the minutes were correct, George.
Okay, I'm not sure that's what we said, but in the event of no consequence.
Okay, well, yeah, all right, okay.
One more thing, it says human resources instead of human services.
Services, okay, thank you. Okay. All right, move to approve the minutes.
As amended, happy to do that.
As amended, George. Second?
Second?
Oh, good, I don't have to write that down. You're keeping seconds. and
Okay,
motions. Thank you.
okay, yep.
A quick house cleaning. Holly is going to chair the January meeting. I'm going to be out of the country for the month. I have submitted all of the dates for the year, for next year. They're all on the second Wednesday of the month. The only time they're not is April. Passover is the second Wednesday. So April meeting will be the third Wednesday of the month. And I've reserved this room for the year, so they'll be at 5:30 in room 119 for the all of next year. Okay, here we go. Let's start. Bob, you want to start off with reviewing the hit list,
Sure.
which, by the way, keeps getting a little bit shorter.
Yes. I put in larger font the ones that we're going to speak on today. 17-004, the was there, and with all of the, I guess, with the leaves and everything now clearing out, there's still an awful lot of items in the yard that just don't look good. We had discussed potential of, somebody had mentioned, I think Jim mentioned, about possibly getting a dumpster, but they've already had a large allotment of funds for landscaping work. So I'm gonna reach out to them to see if we can't get them just to put it to the curb and have the town come in, take a lump sum out of the way to make it easier. The last conversation I had with the owner, one of the owners, was there was some confusion about who was going to take what, but honestly, there's so much there that I don't know that it was what they were doing was gonna make any difference, so I'll reach out with them to see what we could work out.
That, and just let me clarify, the town has spent money on assisting cleanup, and there's a number that we don't want to exceed or can't exceed.
Yeah.
So that's what Bob meant by, we have in fact provided them service in the past, and again, hopefully they're gonna progress through getting it solved.
And you said it doesn't meet the Blight criteria anymore, right? So then, for having the town, if it's the worst of Blight criteria, then we could probably consider additional resources.
Yes, it is, there is so much, I know technically it's just one violation, but there's so much of it there that it's worth trying to, because as soon as the spring comes and things start to grow, it's gonna be back on if they don't take care of that, it's gonna be back on the list almost immediately. So if we could maybe try to be proactive, if we can, we'll work together, whatever we need to do to, you know.
Okay, so we're gonna keep it in that category.
Yes.
And basically,
Yes.
we're hopeful for a sale.
Yes,
And so you and Ally will just continue on your normal kind of
Yes.
interaction with them to
Yeah.
ensure that if there's any assistance we do need to provide or could provide, that we would.
yeah, there was some town clerk action, but we're not really sure if it's a sale or,
Yeah.
either way, okay.
Okay.
Okay, 18-004, no changes on the property. You know, is there just to confirm as things are going, if he's making any changes, and there's no changes on the property.
And at this point in time, our position is there's no further work for us to do. The citation has been issued, it's in the hands of the town to take whatever appropriate action, legal or otherwise, that they are going to take, up to and including foreclosure on the property. But at this point in time, you know, we've gotten zero response, so. Totally ignored the entire process, and we've gone through all of the work with the marshal, town marshal, all of that stuff, so. It's he's clearly in violation, and the town will take whatever action is appropriate from here on. It may come back to us at some point, but at this point in time,
Yeah.
Bob's just aware of it, and he's on the information list if anything changes.
Yes, I'll continue to keep my eye on the property to see if there's anything changes.
Good luck with that.
Okay, 19-014, they've done mostly, removed everything that they needed to remove, the vehicles out of there, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff on the corner. It looks much, there are a few items there, and I have spoken to him, and he's still working on, those are being removed. They had belonged to a friend of ours, he had let him store things on his property, but it wasn't working out, so he's gonna move that, but that one will quickly, right now it's on the watch list because it has been cleared out,
Okay.
so that's good. 19-009 was this property, I'm not sure that it's sold, but it's on the market, the tenants have vacated the property. The only problem is that when they vacated, they left a lot of items in the yard, the backyard, and behind the second structure that's in the back. The owner had said that he had told me that the people that were gonna be taking care of the property, either real estate people or whatever, she was gonna have them, tell them to just clean it out, have really just a pickup truck come and throw the stuff on the back of a pickup truck and get it out, because there's some upholstered furniture that was left outside, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff, and there's nobody living there now, so there's really no reason to have anything on the property. So, I'm gonna touch back with her. She had said that like a month ago when they did this, and nothing's been done yet, so, I'll work with her with that, but that one's still.
That's good, it's getting there, that's.
Yeah, yes. And the last one for today, 18-008, is now bank-owned. It's, and all of the blight conditions have been abated.
Right.
Yes, the porch in the back has been repaired. The only thing that technically there are motor vehicles in the back of the property, but they're working on going through the process of doing what they have to do to get title and ownership and moving them off the property.
So they removed the tree and.
The tree's gone, the rear porch is repaired,
Great.
the front yard lawn is all cleared, and they're in the process of clearing out the interior of the house.
So before they can remove the vehicles, they actually have to get the VIN number and contact the state to retitle the vehicle.
Yeah, that's,
Into the name of the bank before they're allowed to move them?
yeah, something, but they're still working, they wanna keep conversations with the owner, if they happen to show up, they have not had any success any more than we have in reaching out to the owner. They don't know where, you know, but they wanna say if he comes in and wants to get the cars, the vehicles, that he's welcome to come in. Evidently, there's a whole bunch of other valuable tools and things in the basement of the property as well. And they're like, you know, it's hard to think that somebody just left all this stuff here, but you know, they're in control of the house now. They just want to try to be,
Fair.
Yeah, you know, they wanna be fair, exactly.
Which is, at this point in time, from our perspective, that's fine.
Correct.
We're right where
The
we
house
want
looks,
to be.
yeah,
Yeah, as long as we continue to see the progress, the house goes on the market,
yes.
that's great, that's.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, they have an active broker involved already, and he's been in contact with me, already. Those are the ones we've had, movement on.
You want me to say something about Leroy Avenue?
Anything, it's whatever,
Okay, 16-001. As you know, we have not been able to contact the owner. We've gone through the mortgage company, but we have no address for the owner. So, and I believe I sent all of you a copy of this email chain between myself and Bob Burney and Wayne Fox, the town attorneys. And basically, it was just as a follow-up. They're doing a title search now. Their thought process is that at the end of the day, it's gonna come back with the person's name, which we already know. It's just we don't have an address for that person. So my question to them was, well, at what point in time and what kind of action can the town take unilaterally if in fact there is no address? So they came back and basically it's, they want to go through the full title search and they want to exhaust every avenue of finding out the owners. But if they're unsuccessful and we believe as a board that we need to move forward, then we'll have to go through the entire citation process from step one all the way
Look,
through.
which is fine, just that there won't be any answers.
Well,
Yeah, where do you send it?
yeah, I know, but they're all timed. You have the timing, the you know, all of that.
Pin them to the front door.
Yeah, well,
Absent any other place to send it, right?
yeah, and so, hopefully we'll see some progress there. I still think at the end of the day, the mortgage company is gonna step in here and do something. And David, just for your background, the mortgage company thought they were doing the right thing and went in and cleaned up the yard and did some stuff, and the owner threatened to sue them for coming onto their property,
Is
so.
the owner
Clean it
in
up.
arrears? Is the owner in arrears?
No.
They're current.
Yeah.
And the mortgage company doesn't have an address for them?
Well, if they do, they're
They're
not willing to give it to us, or they can't.
Somebody took out the mortgage initially, right? Even if it was an LLC or some other
Yeah, but
entity.
it's,
But the
we've,
mortgage company won't give it to us.
apparently not.
No,
They gotta have it. They can't have a legally binding.
Well, you would think
mortgage
so,
without
it can't be a
that's
PO box, right?
Yeah,
Well, there were old addresses that the tax office
Yeah.
had, but those are no longer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got the original information, we've had an address for them, but they're no longer at that address. But you're right, you would think the mortgage company would have to have a current address.
you would think, right?
Yeah, well,
Well, every mortgage provides that notices will go to the property address, so they're stuck with that.
you know, that's probably true, so then it's just, that's why we had so much mail piling up also.
Yeah.
has there been any precedent in town of, adding things to the tax bill, notices or please contact officially that comes, it's folded in with the tax bill, so
Well,
if
but the
it's,
tax bill goes to the mortgage company.
well, yeah, maybe in terms of just the legal backup.
Well,
Okay,
Yeah, we're relying on Wayne Fox and Bob Burney
Yeah.
to give us advice, and I would be shocked if if for whatever reason, if they can't have some leverage with a mortgage company,
Yeah.
I think they would have used it, but anyway, they're doing a full search, which, again, it's, we need to go through it, but it's a waste of money. I mean, we're spending money for something that we pretty much know what the outcome is gonna be,
Yeah.
but they're concerned about ensuring that we have crossed all the Ts and dotted all the Is as far as giving them every possible opportunity to respond to what the town has stated about their property. Okay, any questions for Bob on both the active and inactive list? Just I try to keep this up because at times I think get discouraged about making progress, but if you look at the summarization, and I think this is right, and it's even better after today, we've got 7 properties active, and 2 of those look like they're in reasonably good shape to come off of there. We're going to take at least 1 off of the watch list, and probably 2, since one's on the market and the other we've already taken off. So we'll be with, that'll put an additional, puts us up to 45 off the list, 12 on the watch list, and 7. So when you consider where we were, that's not bad. Unfortunately, it seems like we've wasted a lot of our energy on 1 or 2 properties, but I guess that's pretty much the way it is. Any other business items?
I just have a question. If an inquiry goes on the website and they make a complaint,
Through the Q&A?
yeah,
Q alert, I'm sorry.
how does that, what's the process? Can you get that directly, or where does
Yes.
that go?
Yes, I'm not sure how Q&A works, but I, myself, and I think you're on this, no, but I know myself, Bob Bush and Mark, are all lumped in with anything that's labeled or directed to Blight. I do get it. And I will schedule a visit, hopefully within a couple of days, I'll get out there to take a look at it. And I try to respond everything through Q alert and, copying the person that did the complaint. So, I'm trying to catch them all. Every once in a while, I go back in and see some that I didn't communicate to, but I'm actively on Q alert, making sure that updates are sent forward to the people that make the complaints.
Now, does Public Works ever get stuff independently?
I believe they do.
They
I'm not
used to,
sure
I
where
mean,
they.
that used to be the primary point,
I
so.
think it's a whole new system, it was a
Yeah.
Q alert, I don't know how recent that is, but I mean, doing the Blight for Q alert, right?
Yes,
So
there's-
originally what
So
they
you're
wanted-
probably, if Public Works got anything, you would get it, I'm pretty sure, wouldn't you think?
I'm not sure. I do know that within Q alert, we can forward it to any other
Oh, okay.
department. If it, like I had a couple come to me that not really a Blight issue, but it was a Public Works issue, so within Q alert, I was able to forward it to that particular agency, wherever it needed to go, because it didn't really concern us.
Okay.
So I
Could you-
entered that in.
Yeah, could you check with Public Works just to
Yeah.
ensure that loop is working the way we think it is?
Yeah, and that would be Ed, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Well, in the hoarding cases, that I know that you're working with some of them, but the one that is on, where am I here?
18-005.
Yes, well, no, well, let me see, wait 1 second.
17011,
I just saw it.
green.
Yeah. Third from the top?
Yes,
Okay.
17.011.
Right.
There've been, people have come up to me and said, what's gonna happen? And I really don't have an answer, because it is worse than most of the other Blight cases, but yet it's not getting any,
Yes, there's,
Progress.
yeah,
that is, it's a delicate situation, because I haven't really ever spoken to the gentleman
Yeah.
personally,
Bobby
but he
and I
has, but he has, and I guess he knows that there's a problem, but he just doesn't care to do anything about it, and he's, I guess
And
he's
it is-
elderly, and he's,
And it is, as we've said before, it's a mental illness, it's considered a mental
Right.
disorder, hoarding, and he doesn't want anyone to come into, the fire marshal's office has spoken to their, I don't know what the authorities, or what
Yes.
their titles are, but about getting into the home, and they weren't allowed to, right?
Right.
You guys weren't given any kind
Yes, I
of
had
authority to enter, because no one's seen the inside of the house. So the
Right.
hoarding's the inside. You know,
but isn't the outside blighted? Definitely,
it's,
Combination, I think it's.
yeah.
it is, but it's one of those where he has it stuff, I don't wanna say sufficiently hidden from my vantage point, that, I can't really take enough photos from the street to document it. If people would let, get permission to go on, but even if we go forward at that point, we would be in the same, position as, as our other case, as, 18-004, which I think would end up only being where he would end up being potentially being forced off of his property.
But could he even be? I don't think so, or you probably end up finding him and putting a lien against the house.
Yes, exactly, yeah, and that's really where it would probably end up going. It may end up
Well,
there, but, yeah.
I guess the people who had asked me what's going on with 18-004, it's not happening with 17-001, but yet they're very similar in many ways.
Well, except that the 17-011
Yeah.
has been clearly defined as hoarding.
But nobody's been in the house, but you have defined
Well,
it, yeah.
Well, I'd be careful to say defined it as hoarding,
Yeah.
since we haven't been in the house, I think that's what we listed as probable.
Right.
There's no way to define it unless we're in the house and they don't have any authority to enter.
Well,
He is a senior and it is a mental illness, so I think that's why it's so complicated.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
ultimately, or we can fine him and then put a lien against the house. It's-
If the outside doesn't, I mean, somebody said to me, I haven't been by lately, so I'll have to go by, that you're saying it doesn't meet all the criteria.
Well, he's got tarps positioned in such a way, they're not covering anything, they're just blocking a view.
Okay, does that shield him from being blighted?
I think from a legal standpoint, it probably would, because I can't see anything. That's
So
why.
if somebody put up a fence just like a tarp, that's.
Yeah, which is, and
That's, okay,
the blight does
I
provide for
just want to be
something
able
being.
to answer.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
the ordinance does provide for people to have things but not undercover, but hidden in such a way that it's not visible to the public.
well, but wouldn't this fall in the same category? It's like Leroy Avenue. Until we actually got the neighbors to take photographs, they can take photographs.
Yes.
And as long as they're taking photographs from their property,
Yes.
have we asked the neighbors on this property whether or not they would be willing to,
Well, I haven't gotten any complaints from neighbors. If
I
I
have someone
have,
who's near there who may be able to do that.
if they want to,
Who asked me about it.
you could ask them to go through Q Alert, and I could specifically contact them, say, would you give me permission, signed, because I actually had mentioned that we're on another property. I said, here's a form, just have the owner sign that they give me permission to come onto their property to take pictures, and the owner of the other property didn't want to sign.
Right.
So I said, okay, that's fine. I'm not going on without permission, without being invited on. I can't, but if they're willing to do that, I'll do that. I come on. It's just that that is the path that I'm sure that it will end up in, is being.
We can reach out to him and see if you wanna set up a time that we could go visit him, if he's willing. We did provide him with information, there's a program called Homefront, it's a nonprofit that does home repairs out of Stanford. We did provide them, with the information about that program.
Yeah.
And they do free repairs, like fixing roofs and whatnot, so.
Right. Yeah.
pardon?
Is Blight?
Yes. Yeah. No,
So we can
which
talk
is
about
fine.
approaching him,
Right. Yeah.
we have a
And
rapport with
if
him.
I know he won't let us in. I'm sorry.
No, he won't let him.
But it would be worthwhile, just to let him understand what is going to be coming.
Right.
That we try to respect his privacy, but there's no other choice.
We had given him a dumpster well over a year ago, I think it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
But that's only making
Mhm.
a small dent.
Yeah.
Is there a point at which your agency would consider a conservatorship for him?
I don't think he'd be eligible.
No,
He's competent.
confident,
Mhm.
but he may be in a
This is a
life
very-
threatening-
Yeah, but this is, we went to the hoarding conference, Bob and other members of different people in departments, and that was a big thing they debated, and they gave numerous examples, right? And we were talking
Yes.
about this particular case, and it's very, well, you know, as a lawyer, but it's very hard to define how someone's, you know, their competency, and people have the right to live a certain way, I mean, not with the blighted condition, but
Yeah.
and they were giving examples, like there was a psychiatrist who was talking and giving examples of people that they let continue living a certain way.
You commented though that the fire department might not be able to fight a fire there, so it could become a life-threatening situation, and I'm sure there are, the statute on an involuntary conservatorship would apply, but I assume that you know, that's way down the road, I guess.
It's the same thing, once conditions inside would be confirmed, then yeah, there is an avenue to go through, citing things through the fire code, through state ordinance, 29306, state ordinance having to do with.
Well, why don't you provide the neighbor's name
Okay.
and see if we can use the Q&A.
Yeah, that would be fine, sure.
Okay. Any other questions or items for Bob? No. Mr. Noel, I assume you're here for comments?
Well, yeah, I mean, I want to listen.
Well, we're about ready to adjourn.
Oh, okay. Well, can I get a minute of your time before you guys adjourn?
Sure.
Okay, I saw your, meeting of October on, Channel 79. And who's the new guy, the new staff member? Is that you?
That's me.
All right, yeah, it was kind of funny how you did it, but I don't really want to comment that, but, I'm waiting for a letter. I mean, I'm supposed to get a letter from, the attorney or something down in
Yes,
Canada?
you've gotten several letters and the town marshal has delivered those letters.
Okay, well, I haven't got any.
Well, okay, then we can cut this off right here. You need to talk to Mr. Sausalito. Sausalito. You need to talk to Mr. Salito, and you need to talk to the town attorney, not the Blight Review Board at this point in time.
Okay.
There are documents that say you were served.
I don't have them, so,
Well,
you know, I'm trying to cooperate. It's just,
well, we understand, but we're at the point in time now where cooperation means that you need to be communicating back with this gentleman,
okay.
okay?
Mhm.
That's where we are.
Okay. Well, I'm waiting for a letter that just doesn't come. So that's, you know,
Well,
you know, I see.
Bob,
Yeah.
would you
Can I
like to
get-
get the letter and just give it to him right now?
Yeah,
Yeah, get the,
Yeah.
copy of what was sent, sure.
yeah, that'd be fine.
Give me a second.
And any documentation you have from the
Yeah.
town marshal.
Meantime, I think we can probably do that offline, so
Yeah.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Favor?
All in
I'll-
favor?
Okay.